All right, I'm only going live again because the other broadcast won't shut off, so I'm hoping if I broadcast this, then the other one will shut off. I lost my connection, and the other broadcast is still going on. I have no idea how to shut it off, so I apologize, everybody out there, for the other broadcast that's still going on. I just wanted to get on here and just add some thoughts of the day. So there's another broadcast going on, and I think it ended, and I stopped it, and then it just keeps going. So I apologize for that. And I came on live again, so hoping that the other broadcast will shut off. So let's just do a little more broadcast, and then when it taps out again, we'll stop. So I apologize for the other broadcast. So the other thing that's going to happen this week is we're going to have the Supreme Court Justice named Neil Gorsuch, who I know nothing about. So I have to do some research on him, but that's going to be the next distraction is going to be this Neil Gorsuch. Who knows? I don't know. You guys can look him up and maybe tell me about him. Again, this is crazy because the idea of this Muslim ban, most people think that it will just create, hey Layla, most people think it will create, more propaganda, more reasons for, but I don't know if I don't know if I believe that theory. But it is just crazy about the fact that Steve Bannon is now involved with the National Security Council. And again, there's no people going crazy, but you should be calling your senators and your congressmen, anybody to tell them that they got to stop the Steve Bannon. And this has to be, that's why it has to be a constant phone calling effort. After this next broadcast goes out, I'm going to have to make some phone calls today. Call the White House about the Muslim ban. Make a donation to ACLU. Yeah, I mentioned something about just how the people do. Just so you know, I mentioned the ACLU, and then someone under my thing, because people can randomly post, says go George Soros. So now fucking the ACLU is funded by George Soros, a guy who's fighting for civil liberty. So I mean, we're going to have to investigate all this shit. It gets confusing. You're going to have to pick your sources about what you believe. But I thought it was really, it's interesting that the shooting in this mosque, just so you know, last night, they had already been threatened. The mosque shooting, they had already cut the head off of a pig and put it in front of the mosque and left a note. So this was, this stuff goes on all the time. But just to go back a little bit to the importance of Facebook and the importance of you guys, if you're not going to call your congressman, if you're not going to, if you're not going to do something, do your activism on Facebook. And if people give you shit for whatever your view is, send them to Real Progressives. Send them here for their information, to watch the shows, so they can be educated on money theory, and they can be told straight facts. And they can, if they want to talk shit, then they can talk smack down there, and we'll fight back. So that's what you have to do. Don't be afraid to use your Facebook pages as, a place where you can do activism, where you can speak out. It's really important. And then come back and tell us what happened. Or call on me, and I will come to your wall and try to defend you. But you got to start taking a bigger role in speaking out. So the interesting thing about Shannon says, I'm scared to leave the house right now, but I have so many calls to make. I don't know what that means. Don't be scared, Shannon. Well, for me, they're all fake peoples, period. I have no idea what that means. Beware of alternative facts, aka lies. You have to stop this before it gets worse. Right, and, the ACLU is fighting back, and then someone tells me that's George Soros funded. I mean, people are not going to like money theory, right? They're going to find that that's also purist. I mean, you're going to have tons of fight back, pushback. So it's all about pushing forward and what we believe in. But I just want to go back real quickly to what Trump campaign did. I just thought it was really interesting, where they were saying that the Democrats really relied on demographics, and these guys went into psychometrics, where they were really being they were using big data, collecting big data on everybody, so they could manipulate them with personal advertising on Facebook. I put this story on my Facebook wall. So they were so specific, they know you so specifically, that they were using manipulative personal advertising on people's walls. Now, I didn't see anything like that, but they say that it's possible, and that they gathered a lot of information, and they weren't using demographics, they were using psychometrics. So again, I don't know about that, but I do know that I got that article that I'm telling you about from a guy who's a close friend of mine who was attacking her again for her Green Party vote and for her lack of voting Hillary. So they're still out there. Those people are still out there fighting on Facebook. So that's why you really have to be standing strong on Facebook and being vocal on Facebook so you can get a reaction and you can sort of get into a debate. Send them to Real Progressives. Promote our page. Jessica says, hackers went through White House files and saved and backed up all files like climate change. Just send your Super Bowl plans for Nova Apple all weekend, rented banner, plane march to City Hall. Oh, so Lila Barry's talking about the big protest, I guess, headed for Super Bowl weekend. We can look forward to that. And we haven't heard anything about, what we're going to do for Super Bowl. I haven't heard any, ideas for protests or whatever. But again, going back to just being vocal on Facebook and adding each other on Facebook. Everybody who's seeing here this morning, you should add each other so that when you profess your progressive stances, and you get pushback from people, you'll have other people to protect you, and we're not always going to be there all the time. So again, with let's go back to the National Security Council. So he drops the importance of some of these members of the National Security Council, cuts some of the members out who can't even attend the meetings now, and raises Steve Bannon up. And again, this is something else that we need to be, that really needs to be investigated, and people need to really know how dangerous this is going to become. See that? Now, Lila just friended Jessica, and that's how it goes, people. So, again, we don't have a lot of media. We are the media. So I want you guys to be vocal on Facebook. I want you to come back and tell me what's going on as far as in your state, in your area, what you're doing. Chanel says, I'm not sure how to keep up with all these calls in such a way that a group of people who are calling the Congress can reference the previously recent made calls, Well, I haven't gotten through I've called Bob Menendez's office in New Jersey here, the senator, and have not gotten through. I've called several different, and I think it's more just flexing that muscle, or just waking up every day and at least making a couple phone calls. But like I said, if you're afraid to do that, don't be afraid to be vocal on Facebook, because then you're going to get pushed back, and then people have to be sending more and more people to Real Progressives to listen to our broadcasts. That's the key, is spreading the word, because again, we have no real 24/7 progressive media, right? It's all been co-opted. Every message is co-opted. So it's really upon you guys to do this, to take, if you're not going to march in the street, march on Facebook. It does count. And all this data is collected. Remember, people are collecting data on this. So make sure you're being vocal. Make sure you're part of that, part of that measurement. However small it is right now. Yeah, so Chanel says, calls are my strong suit, and all I do is phone banking. Linda made a really good point. Yeah, you guys using the 5calls.com tool, which is they give you 5 people to call, or 5 issues to call on each day. And it comes to your email address, so you can sign up at 5calls.com. Thanks, Lila. She says you do a great job. Linda says best way to counter opposing views is to insist on cites, links to how folks get their opinions. No cites, no valid points. I'm not really sure I understand that one, Linda. But again, let's go back to Chanel's and phone banking. So one of the issues I have with the Green Party is you have to train to be with to do certain things. I've yet to have training. I've been a member of them since, I don't know, October, November. Just schedule doesn't match up, and then you don't train. So to be in the Green Party, you have to train in New Jersey. I'm not trained yet. I'm on a membership committee. I'm on a communications committee, but I haven't been trained. And I want a phone bank. I want to get the list of the 30,000 people who voted for Green Party. Haven't been able to obtain that list. So people wonder about why, the Greens are going to win, or the Greens are going to do this, or the third party's going to do this. You're going to find out once you get involved with these groups that they're not well-oiled machines. They're very scattered, and you're going to be disappointed, and it's going to be a lot of hard work. So I'm just talking about truth and reality when it comes to these movements. Green Party and third party is going to be very difficult. Now, people are talking about Justice Democrats and how that's been co-opted. But again, if we can get some candidates to come out that are clean and that are authentic, that's worth it to me. That's my viewpoint. That's not Real Progressive's viewpoint. That's Matt Stewick's viewpoint. Let me just see what you guys are saying. Nope, never heard of it. I don't know what they're talking about there. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing about that, I post big posts, big worded posts, and people are always like, "What's your source?" Well, my source is on my page, but I like to get attention by doing the big block. You know, I don't source my headlines on my Facebook, and then I say the source is below. You guys don't trust me? I've been fucking doing this forever, but everybody wants their information sourced. I totally get that, and that's a big thing about being sourced. The story about the 12-year-old girl from Yemen is on Real Progressive's page, and that came from ProPublica. So that can be sourced and that can be shared, and that's really important that you share that and say, "I'm against this Muslim ban." On your page, you have to say it. There's a number of hashtags to use. There's no ban, no wall. There's no Steve Bannon for president, which happened like the night after. There's the link to the article about, thank you, whoever you are, Real Progressives person. There's the link to the wall about Obama killed a 16-year-old American, and Yemen, Trump killed his 8-year-old sister. So this agenda of war continues. So at least be anti-war. And I thought it was interesting that back in the day when Obama was always doing this, he was being sued by the ACLU. I would love to know how a George Soros-funded ACLU is suing Obama. So it's kind of confusing. Mine's just my personal regular page, Matt Stewick, Stueck. It's a rainbow picture with a Bernie thing and I think my wife or something like that. But add me there because you guys can share articles and all the rest of that nonsense talk. And I'm talking about the folks who argue in threats, armchair opposed to the regurgitate news bites without a real source of info. They can never cite a credible source of their knowledge. Yeah, I mean, you always want arguments to be sourced. But, I'll fight with people online. Like, I got in a fight with people, this guy Tim Pool and a bunch of people who are like libertarian Trump supporters. And I told her about the gender equality bill that, got turned down. And she's like, "Where's the article?" I'm like, "I don't have time. I'm just promising. Go Google." I'm in the middle of this debate. I'm not going to go Google it. I'm telling you it happened. So I'm guilty as, usually when I'm fighting, it's a bunch of people. He just says people are selectively outraged. I totally agree with that statement. I think people have selective memories as well. So yeah, I totally believe in that statement of selected outrage, and that's the problem. And that's why I think, I tend to be with Bernie because I like Bernie because he's always fucking outraged. And I just like that. I don't have anybody else to sort of follow as an example. Lance says, "I love Real Progressives. I also love listening to Debbie from Sane Progressives. Staying informed is key. We need to know how we get." Yeah, and I would say that Debbie from Sane Progressives, we disagree on so many issues. I'm going to lose you guys for a second. Hang in there. I'm going to lose you guys. Hang in there, everybody. Just tell me if the signal's still good. Am I back? Am I back on? I watch Debbie. I don't know if she's sane. But I do watch her show, and I think it's important that she does source very well. And but we disagree on a lot, but that's fine. What I want Debbie's show to be more about is giving hope and giving actions and telling you guys donate to ACLU and to look out for candidates and to join groups. And thank you, Linda. So yeah, Debbie is someone who I watch all of them. I watch Debbie. I watch Tim Black. But again, I find that they need to be giving out actions to take. Every day we need to have actions. So today I'm just saying, hey, use hashtags, go to Twitter, go to your Facebook, be vocal on Facebook. Again, people are going to have different takes on different people. People are not going to like me. People are going to like Debbie. That's fine. I just want to make sure that we're pushing forward. I get all the shit that happened with Obama and the neoliberal agenda. I get that. But now we're fighting Trump. Now we're fighting where we can actually get out there and meet other people. We're woke as fuck. This we can take over. We're going to win New Jersey, our governorship, and then 2018 we're going to flip. There was someone who So I have a legit friend from Louisiana who posted a whole thing about how Trump really won and that California didn't count, and if you don't count California, then Trump won big. What the fuck are you talking about? You're all of a sudden we're just gonna dismiss California? Are you also going to dismiss all the people that were voter suppressed? Should we dismiss them too? Because the Republicans are big on voter suppression. So you just got to call it out. You got to stay true, and you got to know that this movement is growing. So when people are new to the movement, and if they come in and you're trashing Bernie, you're trashing Obama, or whatever, and it's true, but just say now we need to move forward. You got to reach up. You got to reach out to them and educate in a way that's palatable, so you don't push them away. We are trying to unite, but we also got to push forward against the Trump agenda now. This is scary times. All right, I understand what Obama did. It was terrible. Now Trump has what do you want to call him, a neo-Nazi, who's running who's a major part of his of everything that goes on in there. So there was a hashtag the night after I did it called Stop Steve Bannon, or not Stop Steve. No President Steve Bannon was a hashtag. No ban, no wall. Everybody's commenting. Do you consider a Democrat or not? No, currently I would say I'm independent and I lean Green Party. If I could be an independent, I would. That's where I've always been most of my life. But I lean progressive independent. Confession, I definitely voted for Obama, and I look back and say that was probably a mistake. I was fooled, and I have to do so much research on him. Like, I never knew that when he was bombing these other countries, the ACLU was suing him. No clue. I had no idea. Just honest. So someone, Richard brings up Tim Black. It's okay, but in my opinion, he's more into getting an audience than actually being a progressive. He's one of the gatekeepers. Look, it's all good as long as the information is getting out there and we're fighting the good fight. It's all pushing forward. So it would be good if we were all at Real Progressives. So I don't know if it's an ego thing because they all should be broadcasting from Real Progressives. It should be just like Tim, Debbie, back to back to back to back. So this is a 24-hour network. We're not all going to disagree. I actually wish that me, Steve, Tatsu, and my other partner Curtis would do a group show, sound like TYT, because we don't all agree. Me and Steve don't agree. I'm more, cursing and irate, and that's not Steve's style. But we would work great together because we all know and come from different angles. I come from a comedy background. Steve comes from an economic background. Tatsu comes from a technology background, and I'm not. Curtis, I think, believes comes from like a more of an entertainment background. So we're all different. Steve, I feel really fooled. I'm really embarrassed about Obama. Don't get me wrong. Really was enthused by Bernie. Worked very hard. That campaign was also scattered. The Green Party's going to be scattered. What I'm just trying to tell you guys is the reality of when you get into these movements in general. It's going to be so much work you're not going to believe. Like here at Real Progressives, we're all doing this for free. We're all just working our asses off, trying to take articles. That's why I need your guys' support. When I come on here and say, look, I need you to bring me information on a state-to-state basis. I need you to tell me what's going on in my state, because I don't have the time to know what's going on in the rest of the states of America. So you've got to tell me, the group show, Tony, is down the road. All this stuff is down the road for us. I really wanted this to be a 24-hour progressive media live stream. That's the goal. It just didn't happen yet. Let's hopefully it will. We're all in different states. You could just say people should be putting down when I say what state are you guys from? Tell me what state you're from. We can have a conversation. Anybody want to step up and tell me what state you're from? That would help. That would be a start to you guys understanding. But I also want you to go to your Facebook page and, put out there that most of my conservative friends on Facebook don't want to hear politics. They don't read. But that's good because you get into a dialogue and it's important. You're doing activism via Facebook. If you're not on the streets, Linda, then you need to be on Facebook. You've got to be doing your activism somewhere. Arkansas. What can I say about Arkansas? You're rich in history, that's for sure. You know all about the Clintons and all their corruption, and you know all the facts. about everything that they did wrong there. Pulling out SNAP programs and leaning more right in their, they were like super near liberals. They really defined it, putting people in jail and super predators. Holy fuck, Clinton. So you know a lot of history. Yep, and people don't believe that Mark says tell Hillbots that NAFTA was modeled after the Canadian trade agreement pushed by the economics think tank. Yeah, NAFTA was a mess. We knew that. I'll tell you one thing. I was totally against Bill Clinton. I voted for Ross Perot twice, I guess. That's when I knew I was independent. I got into this through Ross Perot. I never would have, and that's why I would tell you about how I know about Bernie. I never would have gotten involved with politics if it wasn't Ross Perot. I never would have paid attention because I just thought they were all liars and corrupt, and it didn't make a difference. But now with modern technology, I think it does make a difference. Yeah, I'm still on a train, upstate New York. Well, thank you so much, Catherine, for saying that. So yeah, there was just an article from NPR where they had these two guys from the how do I say it? From the mountains, Adirondacks Mountains. They're like two rednecks, and one guy's like, the one guy said, I don't want no Muslims coming here with no towels on their head. This is Jesus. This is a state protected, but this is the United States protected by Jesus. That's NPR. It's on my wall. It's legit. And then people are like, oh, those are straw men. It's just reporting. Those people exist. There's a joke by Chris Rock, and he says, any direction you go, an hour from New York City, in any direction you go, you're in the South. That's Chris Rock's joke, not mine. Tony's in North Carolina, and that was a state that was up for play, right? Yeah, and people are saying, Jessica said, that people were all for Clinton when he wanted to build a wall and deport immigrants, and I get that Obama deported. He sent the most people back as far as immigration, and help me with one I thought. And mostly it was people at the wall they would send back. So he gets like the award for most deportations because he sent a lot of people back from the wall. They were pushed back. So they actually were very he was very successful in keeping out people who wanted to come here. So he did deport a lot. Obama is the king of deportation. You're absolutely right. What benefits from keeping the people ignorant? I don't know, but they do a great job, don't they, Darryl? I mean, there is no real progressive media. I don't truly believe in TYT. Nothing on TV. It's never the way to educate the viewers. It's always just to give them little sound bites, just enough to keep them entertained, But what Steve is doing here with the hardcore economics is so important. I've always said, why don't more people do that? What Steve is doing is just beyond brilliant. I'm gonna have to keep watching the shows. I don't understand. I still don't understand modern money theory. I gotta keep tuning in. It's gonna take me 4 years to get my degree in modern money theory. I can't even say it. I live in Wisconsin, Jessica says, and HRC lost our state because she ignored us in the general in both 2008 and this cycle. She never came here. It's fucking crazy, Jessica. I don't even think I realized that. Is that true? She never went to Wisconsin? Becky says, you're fucking kidding me. NPR, shit. They do exist. We keep strong and document this. We will be studying this for generations, and Cornell... I'm sorry, I was going to say Cornell. I'm losing you guys to come. We are living history. I'm sorry, I'm missing you, Becky. I'm not ignoring. We are living history. We are overwhelming at times. So excited that it got us more activists for good. Yes, Becky. I totally with that comment, Becky, is that so many people are coming in, so you try not to scare them. We want to keep that Bernie energy. I know people don't agree with the Bernie energy, but the Bernie energy is more real than anything else. Just so you know, by leaps and bounds. It's not comparable. And you guys can tell me. I can tell you in New Jersey, the Bernie momentum is giant. Green Party, meh. But I'm with the Green Party. I'm trying to help them. But, I believe the Bernie movement is still alive and well. That is the strongest movement we have. Do you agree with Bernie? You're going to nitpick with Bernie? Fine. But I'm just telling you, he is by far the strongest movement we have right now. The strongest progressive movement is Bernie crowds. Period. The end. So, I just sound like Sean Spicer. I just became Sean Spicer. I wish I could take that back. The Bernie energy is selfies, which should be The Christian's energy is selfless. Sorry. It's selfless. I said the Bernie energy is selfies. Hey, I got a selfie with Bernie. The Bernie energy is selfless. Yes, there's an energy, like you said, which should be the Christian's energy. That is so good, Becky. That is dead on. The Bernie standpoint is, can we help as many people as we possibly can? You know, is everybody cool with that? Does everybody want to do that? Do we all care for as much people as we can? Right. The Bernie energy just felt good. When I was with the Bernie people down in New Jersey, I wish there was more, but you knew you had things in common. It's like, I hate to compare this to you guys, you're not going to get it, but it's like going to Vegas for me. I know what's up. I know what Bernie people are about. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with these people. I'm good. I don't think we're going to disagree on too many issues. Wow. Jessica said, I volunteered for Bernie and 12 hours at his rallies. So I don't know how, Jessica, how you felt it was going on. Jessica, was that Wisconsin, Jessica? And I just can't believe that Hillary never went there. I didn't know that Hillary never went to Wisconsin. That's complete news to me, by the way. But again, what I want you guys to do is, like Christy says, I take notes when watching Steve and his guests. Yeah, you do. You need that's what Steve should say at the beginning of his broadcast. Says, okay, get out your pencils, get out your notebooks. So you can take notes. But I guess you can just re-watch the broadcast. I don't know if you should be taking notes. Yeah. What Steve is doing should be done in every topic, right? We should have an immigration hour where we talk about immigration and the ruling, and we should go over the seriousness of it. We have to hit this from every level in an educated way. I'm only going to bring the comic relief and the energy. We have to bring in real experts. And so I said, like, the biggest thing that I was pushing is to bring these Bernie-crats in. I was pushing to bring the Bernie-crats in from California just to discuss how they did it, because every state is so different about how they run things. I don't know much about New Jersey. Like I said, I'm just getting in, and I'm just saying the big controversy today is that they're asking our revolution, and the Green Party is trying to work together, and it's not working out. And they're trying to get together to do debates. I'm not really sure what the issue is, but there's going to be a rift. And honestly, I know for a fact, inside information, that the Bernie energy in New Jersey is way bigger than the Green Party energy, especially in certain pockets around. It's way bigger. So that's the problem. So you have the Green Party and people like super left, the Bernie energy, and then we have to deal with people who are corporate Democrats who are still sort of attacking us. It's a tough strategy, but the bottom line is we have to fight, and we have to have real progressive broadcasts where we discuss the fact that Trump did just attack Yemen. He did kill multiple Yemen's women and children. I don't read that in the newspaper. I don't know if you're going to see that on the news. I don't know if you're going to hear any of this. I'm going to have to go and, you guys are going to have to watch the news and let me know. Are people aware that this raid killed women and children? There was an 8-year-old girl that was killed. I don't know if that's going to come out or not. Only The Intercept reported that. Sourced. I don't know what that means. Bernie trolled Wisconsin was awesome. Yes, HRC ignored during the primaries in 08. Okay, so you guys didn't forget. I see. Interesting. And again, during the she didn't, no way. Is it true that Jessica, that Hillary Clinton did not go to Wisconsin? Wait, never came here one time after the primary was over. Holy, did not know that. I did not know that, Jessica. That's the stuff I fucking love. Love RP, but when RP does a video, it's hard to find that video at a later time. Well, I think you can go to YouTube, Linda. I'm not sure how they're doing it. I'm sure they're archiving, and we're trying to figure all this out. This is really on the back of Tatsu. I think he's doing most of the tech work. So happy to see Rather bringing up Japanese camps, which I talked for a man. Need to get names, and asked about. I'm not getting that one. Now, Kerry says never went to a union hall, unprecedented for a Dem candidate. I'm not understanding that one either. Well, that was the thing about the psychometrics that I was talking about. That it came down to the Trump campaign realized to focus on 17 states. Trump completely gave away California. They spent no time in California. So they're and this is really important to elections, and this is why they need to be opened. We need to get open primaries, especially in the Democratic process, so that, if somebody ran independently, or we have to open elections in general, but I'm just saying state to state it's so difficult as far as primary. And, let's get back to that. I think all these senators, what they do, should be primaried. Everybody should be primaried every cycle. And that's another thing we got to start pushing for. We have to primary everybody to hold their feet to the fire. That's another way. Now, for example, a guy like Booker, I don't think he could be beat in New Jersey. I'm just being realistic. He just has too much power and too many, followers. But he still should be primaried because you want to hold his feet to the fire. Menendez, we might be able to get out. Jessica says Hillary Clinton also had done one press conference either after the primary. Right. I mean, she just failed in so many. She just was. That was just the worst run campaign by Hillary Clinton, and they blame us. They blame progressives, and it's going to happen all day long. It's going to continue to happen, and that's the problem where we have to be louder and harder and organized and reach out and keep these burners alive. In general, don't let these Hillary supporters push back and take over again. We have too much energy. So that's my point. Booker needs to be outed for his corporate whoredom. His followers have no idea. But I'm telling you, I'm just being honest with you, Carrie. Kater? Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. I just don't think you can. I think we have the primary, and I think he still wins. I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to be truthful. I'm trying to keep it real. Becky's saying Oklahoma bombing white-skinned men and forgiven their religion, not punished. When we judge religion as the force of terror versus the terrible person that is brainwashing. Absolutely. And you sort of can see it because they're like, you're going to see it in the corporate media. Like they're always getting both sides when it's just completely wrong. There should be no Muslim ban. And it isn't a Muslim ban. Shanna says, I know, Mark, but how do we get party leaders to understand? You got to keep calling. You got to keep protesting. You got to scare the fuck out of them. That's the thing. They're only going to get scared if they think they're going to lose their race. If they still think they can win, they're going to still keep doing their shit. That's why everybody has to be primaried. They need to all know you're going to be primaried. Bottom line, you all took corporate money. You're all people over. You're all profit over people. You're all going to be primaried. Everybody has to be primaried. That's what we have to focus on. Mark says post. If you're not going to make the phone calls, or if you are making phone calls, great, but also post. You guys got to get a little more vocal on Facebook. I've always overused Facebook. I tap out of 5,000. I try to get as many people as I can to follow me, and I'm just politically active. I have another private account. I don't even use it. I just post live streaming, and that's what I would say to you guys to do. Is and come back and say, look, I posted this and I was attacked, and we'll say, hey, well, why don't you add us as friends so we can protect you if you post things and get attacked. But we have to be the overriding voice because there's just way too weird information going out there. So, Jessica says we need to band together despite petty issues, and I agree with that, and you're going to get pushback. I think bringing anybody in who's a non-politician, let's hear about the 400 scientists that are going to run for office. But adding each other, being vocal on Facebook, making phone calls, live streaming whenever you can yourself, take a risk. These are all important methods, but there is no progressive media. No one's going to tell you what's really going on, and that's the problem. And we should be calling our representatives today about Steve Bannon being put anywhere near the National Security Council. Is crazy, but now it almost seems like he has there's a hierarchy there where he's actually been raised to a different level than the other people speaking in the room, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, supposedly there's 400 scientists, so We'll see if that's true or not. Let me see. Yeah. So anyway, so what's the most important act? So you have tons of actions you can take today. You can post stuff on your Facebook wall, claiming that or stating that you are now super progressive and you're against the ban, and then you're going to get pushback. But that's good. You get into a debate and push people to Real Progressives, so people can start getting different articles. Post articles from Real Progressives onto your Facebook page. Don't be afraid to be called a troll. Apologize and claim to be filling out and updating out-of-date maps. What? I troll all the time. I actually, try to troll as much as I can. If someone's being like abusive or saying stuff that's just not true, I'm gonna troll them. I follow people. I follow Tim Pool, who used to be a reporter for Occupy. I troll him all the time, and I follow this comedian, and I don't want to name him because I don't want you guys to. I follow an ex-friend of mine who's a comedian. He's a Republican, and he's doing fairly well. And I troll him all the time because he lies all the time on Facebook. So I just want you guys. That's right, Becky. Be a nice troll. All right, everybody. If you don't take anything away from today, be a nice troll. Okay? It's important. Fannin is out. We know who's whispering mouth. Linda says, that's not trolling. That's countering incorrect info. I know, but people are going to call you a troll. So, yep, Fannin is Goebbels. Yep, absolutely, Daryl. And that's what people don't want to compare him to. But that's exactly what's happening. It's a fascist state. And I get it, Obama was a fascist state too, but this is really, really bad. And we have the Bernie energy to really, really put a wrench in this machine. Nebraska. It's Justin. I can't stand the Soros equals absolute rejection of a group. A party is one thing, they have power, they grant them through voting. Soros money would troll. I totally agree, Justin, and that's where we both agree. The group like the ACLU, that means what? There's no qualification, there's no thought. It's knee-jerk. These guys are law-trained, Soros overtaken group, ACLU. You can just throw out Soros for everything. That's the danger of the Soros, I'm going to say a meme, or a Soros theme, or Soros narrative. Trolls use bait, slimy, stinky bait. I know there's definitions for trolls, but I guess I just like to get in conflicts because it just gears me up for this show. I always put my info with a funny meme. Gets way less anger back. It trips them up. I know, but then you have like the meme war. I like to get into people's, their actual thought process. Where they're lying or what, or where they stand. Are they a libertarian? Are they a Trump supporter? Where they come from? I want to know. A lot of them have fake profiles. You guys know the drill, man. The tool Bennett has now is usually Helfer General sick, just effing sick. Yeah, yep. And there was a hashtag that people get it. Stop President Bannon was trending yesterday. Today trending is, I think, no ban, no wall, no Muslim ban. I mean, we're definitely out there. But again, I want you guys to be sharing Real Progressive articles. I want you to be vocal on your Facebook, and when you get into conflict, tell those people, argue, debate, and then say, go watch Real Progressives. They can come and troll here. I would love for people. The one thing I wish people more were troll here. I would love to have more trolls coming on here and debating. That's when it gets good. I don't want to just speak to the choir. I want to definitely speak to all people. I want them to come at me. But I'm honest about who I am and where I stand. I'm honest with you guys. I was a Bernie supporter. I voted Jill Stein, and to be honest with you, if I was in a swing state, I might have had to consider voting for Hillary Clinton. That's how concerned I was. I'm not going to lie to you, but I voted Jill Stein, and I'm with the Green Party. And I get how Obama was a neoliberal and did terrible things. But we got to keep it together, man. As long as you engage with a troll, people are seeing a thought process and the validity of each argument. Yeah, I agree. I just do it for I do it for like not therapeutic reasons, but I do it to gain just because something funny pops in my head or a funny argument, or I just like the tactics of it, the jujitsu of that, of what people think on the other side. So I just want you guys to be, I was really impressed when somebody watched my broadcast and then went to their page and was like, you know what, I'm tired of not saying anything. I'm going to say something, and I'm not for this Muslim ban. And then she got pushback, and she got pushback from people who watch Debbie, and she got pushback, so we got to make sure our information is accurate. And that's one of the things I would say about Bernie is, I got down on him because I thought he repeated his message. I know why he repeats his message, because it's important for people to clearly understand where he stands and it not to be manipulated in any way. And that's the way our facts have to be. She's talking about our memes. But anyway, it's just crazy how what we're allowing to happen. On the positive side, this guy from Starbucks says he's going to hire a bunch of refugees. I don't know what you guys feel about Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, but I'm just trying to give you good news. Becky says she's incognito. I don't know what that means. That means she's not going to take anybody on. Jessica says, I voted for Jill, and living here, I knew Wisconsin was definitely going to chump. That's pretty cool, though, that you knew already, and Jessica, and I guess that's because you felt the momentum with Trump. And I think, again, people don't understand the reality of the situations. I'll give you another example. When Nate Silver was predicting Clinton, I was trolling his page all the time. I'm like, something's wrong with your metrics, because that's not the read I'm getting from across the country and from New Jersey and New York. I'm not getting that read at all. I'm getting the read that she's in big trouble. And his metrics are way off. Becky says she's sneaky. What else is going on in the news? I know I wrote a bunch of notes that I couldn't read last night, so maybe I'll go back to my notes from last night, because I had a bunch of notes from last night that I didn't do when I was sitting in the streets. So I mentioned about the Arab Action Network last night and how you guys should join them. There's a bunch of refugee, Facebook pages you should join. Hold on. Just trying to read your, told you about all that. It's just so funny about, one of the big things that just happened that just popped in my head was, yesterday or the day before his Holocaust was the Holocaust Remembrance Day, and Trump did a post, or they made a statement, and they never mentioned Jews. They just talked about heroes and victims, but they never said the word Jew. So they all live mattered the Holocaust. For real. Are you fucking kidding me? I hope comedians call them out. And that's a true story. You can check out his statement on the Holocaust.
The next station is Hamilton. When leaving the train,
I think I'm hitting a wall here. But anyway. There was a whole article that I put on my wall about psychometrics, if you want to read it on my wall. I think that's it for now. I'm definitely running out. I have all these notes, but it's so hard to broadcast and read my notes at the same time. Why are they not listening to the Progressive Party? Must be for new people moving in. Wish the DNC was more inclusive because this could help us all. Bullshit. Yeah, we're going to have running issues. This is really, really a difficult time. But we got to stay, true to our platform, right? We got to stay true to the fact that, we're supportive of Muslims and we don't like this ban. So make sure you make some phone calls today. Join the Arab Action Network. Anytime they see these things growing, just like the ACLU got all this money. The ACLU got $20 million this year. I'm sorry. The ACLU received $20 million in donations in one weekend. They normally make $4 million in a year in donations. Jason Stacy. I live in the Appalachia region of East Kentucky with my wife and daughter. We knew the state was going red, supported Bernie in the primary and voted green in the general. Just know not all here are insane. No, and I think that's the bigger point of real progressives is we're trying to contain. We're trying to have some sort of unity on the platforms, and for me, like I said, I'm just being honest. I'm somewhere between Bernie and Jill. That's where my platform lies. So people have a problem with that, but I like the inside-outside game. I think it's important, and I understand. I'm just as angry at the DNC for all the reasons. I used to do crazy broadcasts, just so you know where I came from. I used to do crazy broadcasts against the DNC and Hillary Clinton, predicting everything that happened, not knowing that the emails would ever come out. But I was saying all this crazy stuff. That's how I think Steve first saw my videos. I knew exactly what she was about and the DNC was about, but I had no idea that it would be revealed. So the energy has to be more intense, and I just don't know if people have given up. So Richard Gammon says, anyone wants to add me, you can add him. And that's how we do it. That's how movements are done. Jessica says, me too, was torn in the primaries between Bernie and Jill. Yeah, because depending on what state. In Wisconsin, it's tough. People were scared. I went to meetings where you had all the different factions. You went to meetings where you had, Hillary people were like, no, we have to vote Trump. And then you had, no, we got to vote Jill. No, they were like arguing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just here to listen to you guys. I haven't made my mind up. I'm just trying to keep it all together. I'm not going to sit here and I wasn't going to get on there and try to convince anybody. I was there to listen, to hear other people's opinions. Kennedy says Bernie should have accepted Jill's invitation to go green. Would have rocked the two-party system. But again, Kennedy, I believe on that point that he would have split the votes. Above 40, they were not voting for him. He was not going to win the above 40 vote, and he would have lost. And Trump still would have won, and they would have blamed Bernie. I know he was playing strategy. It was gamesmanship. No way he wins that thing. Because then you would have the dirty DNC, Trump, splitting it, going after him, attacking him, and it would have split, and he would have lost. And then they would have blamed Bernie. Even though they still blame him, it would have been even worse. So I just think it was strategy. Oh, that's definitely, you know what though, Luann Jacobson? One of the funniest things that I hear is that all the time is like with the Muslim ban, they're like, you're just a sore loser. You're just upset that Trump won. Just a sore loser? No, I'm upset that you're banning Muslims and you're keeping people out of this country. I'm not a sore loser. Who talks like that? This is politics. I'm not a sore loser. I'm well aware of Hillary Clinton, how horrible a candidate she was. So I'm not a sore loser. I don't know how they call Bernie supporters and Jill supporters sore losers. We're not sore losers. We saw it coming. We're not shocked. The Bernie clan saw the attack on Ralph Nader as more of a threat than staying with the strategy he knew. HRC failed to fill a high school gym here in Wisconsin for a rally. Bernie had packed rallies. And again, people will never believe that, and I don't know how they don't understand the momentum. I always say Trump had momentum, Bernie had more momentum, and people don't believe that. Trust me, he would have crushed him in the debates, and Bernie would have won. Simple as that. Texas has a sore loser law preventing any candidate that ran in the primary from changing parties. Huh, that's interesting. What's so crazy there? Every state has their crazy laws and their crazy rules, and you have to learn each state. And this is like a new territory. New Jersey. I'm from New York City. I'm not from New Jersey. I just moved down here 5 years ago. And just got involved politically in the last 2 years. I just wasn't. I'm being honest. I wasn't involved politically. I should have been, but I wasn't. I'm part of the problem. I was part of the problem. But I just didn't believe. I had no belief in the system. And I still have no belief in the system. We have so much to change. The Electoral College, the debate system, Every state has to change these closed primaries that we have, open and closed, and when you have to register. I mean, there's I don't know where to start. Twelve states have those I know about. We're talking about closed and open primaries. It's just like, how do we change the system? How are we going to do it? You really believe a third party is going to grow? You know, you'll see you'll be able to get a good you'll be able to get a good read, and I'll be able to tell you what's going on with the Green Party through my election process and my working with the Green Party down here in New Jersey. And I'm just telling you right now, we have no money, we have barely any infrastructure, nothing is going on, and you know, it's for the Green Party here in New Jersey right now. It does not look good for governorship. I'm just being honest. Things could change. Anything can change. And there's so many candidates running that this person's going to get lost in the mix because no one knows who he is. We have Senator Lesniak, who's a state senator. We have Wisniewski, who's an assemblyman, and then we have Murphy, I think, who was a senator. I'm not sure. All right. So, my wife is texting me like a crazy person. So I gotta hop off here. Accolades to those who have homework and continue the waking process. All right, let me hop off here. I got to text my wife. Only two parties, federal funding, as well as being in debate laws, need to be changed. Anyway, take some risks today on Facebook. Add me on Facebook. Add each other who talk in this conversation. Like I said, they're all good. Debbie, Tim, they're all trying to be progressives. But I got to check everybody. I got to watch everybody's shows, corporate media, and just see and make sure that they're, you know, telling everybody the straight facts and being real about the chances of the Green Party and being third party. We got to keep it real, and we have to educate. Just like Steve does with economics, we need to do it across the board. Economics, immigration, law. This has to happen, and it should be happening. And why it hasn't happened already is beyond me. Why other people aren't broadcasting long broadcasts, live streams, like Steve does on economics, on every other issue is beyond me. We should be having debate, you know, long discussions with civil rights attorneys. That should be an hour show. Bring in a lawyer who's willing to talk every you know, an hour a night. We need to be educated on every level so that when they come at us, when we get into debates on Facebook or in the real world, you say, go to Real Progressives. Watch that show if you're unsure of the information. And let's bring other people who would disagree with us so we can get into, you know, we can bring the trolls to us. We enjoy it. We enjoy all kinds of trolls. But if you're going to be a troll today, remember what Jessica said. I'm not sure who said it. Be a nice troll. But don't be afraid to troll people. And send them here to Real Progressives. Anyway, guys, I got to get up and text the wife. This is what I used to do. Next time I will be more prepared. I agree, Linda. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is voluntary on the internet. It blows your mind. Bring in Ralph Nader. I love Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader is probably number 2 next to Bernie. I really love Ralph Nader. Again, I love listening to Bernie talk, and I love listening to Ralph Nader talk. I don't have like other favorites other than that. So those are my 2 faves. So yeah, I totally get it, Mark. But anyway, let me get off and text the wife. Add me on Facebook, Matt Stewick. Add each other as you agree with each other. And don't be afraid to post things on Facebook from Real Progressives. Make a stand for the Muslim ban and say you're against the Muslim ban on your Facebook wall. Take risks. You know, make yourself uncomfortable in your activism. That's what you need to do. I know it's scary, but those people are scared too. The Muslims are scared. Some 12-year-old kid had to go back to Yemen because fucking Trump put a visa in place. He's a fucking 12-year-old kid. What the fuck are you doing, Trump? This shit's got to piss you off. You got to be outraged. Can you imagine leaving your 12-year-old that has to fly back to Yemen and you got to stay here in the States? You got to start putting yourself in an empathetic position. what Muslims are going on right now, how Mexicans feel about the wall, and how this Muslim ban, and how they, we were worried about the registry, and we're all going to vote for we're all going to register as Muslims. Remember that. So I'll see you guys later on tonight. I'll try to watch as much as I can. Keep fighting. Be vocal. Stand out. Make phone calls. Don't lose. Don't keep fighting. Let's train the fighters. All right? Let's pretend we're in The Walking Dead and we got to battle these zombies.